What to review? Fine. Well, I think it's time. And it's only the second episode of my review series. But I need to talk about A Pal for Gary, no matter if it's been talked to death. But I need to put my word in the books. But before I talk about this episode, let me give a statement, and prepare your ears. But I think Season 6 is mediocre. Yes! I know it has some of the worst episodes in a cartoon ever! But I still think it has some fantastic episodes. But anyway, let's get to the review. This episode starts with SpongeBob leaving for work, and we're already on a rocky start. SpongeBob is so boring. He feeds Gary, then leaves. Guess how long that takes. Just guess. A minute! This could easily be 15 seconds, but they have to drag it on. So SpongeBob is at the Krusty Krab, and here is even more filler. Just 2 more minutes of just basically saying, Gary's lonely. So we actually start a plot now. SpongeBob thinks Gary's lonely, so he goes to buy him a pet from a strange old lady. So besides filler, here are where the real problems start to come in. The lady specifically says they are dangerous, but SpongeBob just ignores and buys it anyway. Or steals, what's the difference? She tells him again. Guess what? SpongeBob friggin' doesn't listen. Even the lady acknowledges it herself. So we are back to Gary watching TV, but SpongeBob arrives with a pet, or psycho animal as I like to call it. Don't worry, you'll get it later. And SpongeBob named it, I don't want to say it, but Puffy Fluffy. Yeah, I'd rather go with something like Larry. So SpongeBob leaves Gary and Puffy Fluffy to make friends, then Puffy Fluffy does this. TV-wise 7? This should be rated M! So SpongeBob gets food and demands that he shares with Puffy Fluffy. I don't know why, but I just brushed that off. Then we get where it's really bad. Puffy Fluffy, but for now I'm going to call him Psycho Animal, shrieks and shows his sharp teeth and scares Gary away. But then SpongeBob comes back and yells at Psycho Animal and kicks him out. The end. But that would be the good ending. We can't have that. So SpongeBob yells at Gary because he is ignoring Psycho Animal. Oh, come on, SpongeBob. Well, I'm sure he will get better. So Gary tries to play with Psycho Animal, and Psycho Animal does the same thing. And just guess what happens. Just guess. SpongeBob scolds Gary for ruining his dinner and saying he has no respect for their new friend, or new beast. SpongeBob is never this stupid. Never. This is Patrick levels of stupid. So SpongeBob sends Gary to bed with Psycho Animal, and Psycho Animal scares Gary like usual. Gary runs to SpongeBob like usual, and SpongeBob scolds like usual. So I'm just going to put a warning here. If you are sensitive and scared easily, I recommend not watching the rest of the review. But you can take your chances. But anyway, Gary wakes up to this thing, and I thought this was for kids. So Gary tries to defend himself for the whole night against this beast, and then the beast causes a fire, and this keeps on until SpongeBob wakes up in the morning, and is shocked because his whole house is wrecked, and says this couldn't have been a seaquake, and says the only one here was Gary. Ahem! And then we get one of the most infamous scenes in all of cartoon history. I'm not kidding. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. This is bullcrap. I'm done. There are no words to describe this scene. Oh wait, I have one word. Abysmal! You've got your humiliating Arnold, the Griffins fighting, and SpongeBob being an absolute moron and not saving his pet he had for 10 years now. Downhill SpongeBob went. But anyway, Gary saves SpongeBob from the beast and makes him run away. And if it would have ended there, with SpongeBob saying how he's really sorry for how he treated him, it could have been slightly more tolerable. But no, they have to throw in that one line. And I actually thought it ended there because it would have made sense, but they strangely cut away to the Krusty Krab with SpongeBob taking Gary to work, and does absolutely nothing to the plot. And that's the end of the episode, and well, actually no, there was nothing that is good about this episode. Its mean-spiritedness is through the roof, with no reason besides, let's torture Gary instead of Squidward. And let's just stop and applaud SpongeBob for making one of the most infamous character moments in cartoon history. Let me just have an epilogue of SpongeBob's character. SpongeBob was cheeky, playful, but he does also act like a little kid and sometimes very dumb, but never to the point where he's unlikable. But then Season 4 came along with the first bad SpongeBob episode, Good Neighbors. It started a lot of tropes, and one of them was SpongeBob and Patrick turning from playful and having common sense to just straight up mean and annoying. and it started another trope, and probably the most infamous one in the whole series, but we'll get to that another time. And if I had to rate this, I would literally give this a 1 out of 10. And it's safe to say that SpongeBob has come and gone from a fantastic show to an abysmal show, and then back up to an average show. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you want to see more like this, hit the subscribe button and like this video. And if you want the hint, see it in the description below. Cargomine, signing out.